What's up, everybody? It's been a minute since I've done a live stream or a live rant from the truck. I might even light a cigar while we're here. Yeah, but I know it's it's been a while since I did a live rant, but there's certain things you got to call. From the Glorilla, the reason why I don't have a nigga is because I'm too much like a real nigga. Michelle Obama not showing up for formal events as a formerly sitting first lady. I have to say this from the bottom of my heart. Your reputation precedes you. And it's not what I want. It's not what everybody else wants. This is what the world sees. And you can't hide it. Michelle Obama, probably the most well-known, one of the top 5 most well-known black women on earth, has a resting bitch face so strong with such ferocity that it would scare the hell out of the Batman. I mean, what's up, baby? This might be a classic rant, so y'all might want to record this shit. I want you to think about this, right? Every time you try to give black women the benefit of the doubt, they go out of their way to show you something different. Not even out of respect for your men, respect for your children, respect for your family name, you will go out of your way to be a hellion. You will go out of the way to be a... You know what's real fucked up? I thought she was going to do the omega beams from those goddamn eyes. Look at your culture of women currently. This is what I said on BGS's stream that just ended. Literally just ended 3 minutes ago. They are on such a scorched earth policy, they don't give a damn who they embarrass. If it's themselves, their husbands, their boyfriends, their brothers, their fathers, that they rather bring all... They're doing the Samson effect. They want to get to the pillar and push the damn thing down on top of not only the Philistines, but themselves. I'm going to say this, and somebody needs to put this in the chat for time immemorial. It bothers me to make this statement. It really is going to bother me because I date nothing but black women, but black women are wallowing in obsolescence. Black women are wallowing in obsolescence. You're not great mothers anymore. You're not great teachers anymore. You're not great wives anymore. What the fuck? I mean, legitimately, what is going the fuck wrong? You will literally fuck up a wet dream, free lunch, and good money when you don't have your way. But then you'll have the fucking unmitigated gall, the fucking audacity to blame black men when black men will bend over backwards, will push a planet by hand if he was Kryptonian himself, just to please you. I'm really going to say this next part that somebody needs to put there. I'm really starting to think that black men are too good for black women. They don't deserve them. It's getting to that lethal point. Very lethal. You don't deserve that man who's the most intelligent when it comes to his emotional prowess. You don't deserve that man who's the best father. You would think there will be a correlation of black men being the best and most involved fathers, but you don't see that correlation of black women being the best mothers. I know it's gonna. I don't. You know what? Put some black pills, some black hearts in the fucking chat because we might as well go in. We might as well go in. Have you lost your fucking minds? You wonder why you can't get men. You wonder why generations are gonna die because you're just so obnoxious, self-centered, and goddamn, what is it? Insufferable. What the fuck do you get out of that? What the fuck is the end goal? You're not winning. You're looking pretty damn foolish. Let's be fucking honest, man. Let's be totally fucking honest. Your children are going to be the ones who suffer the most. The ones you have now and the ones who will never be. I want you to really think about that shit. You're going out of your way for being such a seditious traitor towards black men to give all the problems, all the smoke, all the dissension. For what? For fucking what? And think about this. This is supposed to be the upper echelon. This is supposed to be the upper echelon of women from our goddamn community. Doing some of the most heinous, treacherous, and embarrassing shit. Dr. King and Malik El Shabazz, aka Malcolm X, did not go through the goddamn brutal assassinations for this bullshit. We literally had to go through hell and high water to even dream of a goddamn Barack getting elected. You got Jimmy Carter, who was getting, you have George Herbert Walker Bush, wheelchaired. This lets you know black women are no respecters of tradition. They are no respecters of drill and ceremony. They're the ultimate mavericks. They're like Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. You don't want to be married but you want the man's resources. See, this is the reason why the communities in shambles. Who do you look up to? Who do you aspire to be? Musically, you all want to be whores. Musically, you want to be a whore. Why do you think I was saying in BGS's chat, whore immortal, whore incarnate? You're just a fucking whore. That's all it's about. You don't give a shit if your boys can read. Most of you encourage your damn daughters to leave their men to get some bullshit child support. It's ridiculous. You get all this money from the government, all this support. You're allowed to go to colleges getting all this money because for some odd fucking reason, you're a minority, even though you have 2 million more than black men. You're supposed to be so accosted at work, but you can show your monkey ass and go to fuck off at work, and people will act like they don't want to have kid gloves. But if a black man looks like he's not smiling, they're ready to call a fucking SWAT team on him. You're mad because your fucking political proponent did not get elected. So you're having scorched earth. At this point, I don't even care about divestment. Please do. Please do. Divest. Since you're absolutely, positively no good for black men, and you made yourself this way, you went out of your way to prove this shit. Divest. Go somewhere the fuck else where you're celebrated and not tolerated. But what happens? Majority of you can't find Brad, because if you get a Brad, what happens? You got to get the basement dweller. You got to get the one and lie. You'll do things for Brad and lie and say he's provided this lifestyle when you were the one forking over the cat. All you got to do is get a black woman angry and she'll tell you the truth. What was that one chick who married the guy who looked like the Big Show? And she said, "Oh, he put me in this spot. He did all this for me." Well, come to find out, you were forking the bill. You're gonna lie. Because white men who are worth a damn don't fuck with you. They either just have it on a fucking hotel to hoe basis, or they don't fuck with you at all. I want you to get this to your skull, black women. This is coming from a guy who loves you. But I'm sick of your shit. I'm like this. I can't put up a good argument for anybody to say stay and help this goddamn community. At this point, let the bitch burn. We didn't start the fire because the world was burning as it always turning. Why? Who the fuck wants to come home to a house with an irritating motherfucker after you already had to damn near slap 5 people, and that's a good day? Then come home and she's giving you the most hell. I swear to God, black women don't know what the definition of peace and peaceful truly means. If Barack Obama couldn't get respect from Michelle, what chance do you have? Why? Black women believe in a relationship where everything's transactional except what she has to do. All she got to do is bring some fucking pussy that's been used since a 79 Nova. Coochie walls been all but rehabbed, and that's what she thinks you deserve. You better yourself. What do they always say? If she didn't want you in her prime, then you don't accept her in her decline. Why? Why do you have to be so mean? Why do you? Oh, I gotta be a real nigga. I gotta cuss. I gotta show my face. I gotta do all this bullshit. What did Glorilla say? I'll cuss out a nigga quick. Like, fuck you. You a bitch. You a bitch. You did. See, y'all purposely find men who will stand toe to toe to take that bullshit. I don't preach violence on anybody, but you opening up to say that to the wrong dude, and he's gonna knock your teeth down, get so far down your throat, you won't know if you're spitting or shitting. And that's the type of fucking foolishness that these ladies are opening themselves into. Because let's really tell the truth. You like this intimate partner violence. You like domestic violence. That's what gets you off in a sick, twisted, perverted way. You can't be with a nice, normal, stable 9 to 5 guy because they're boring to you. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't cheat on me. He doesn't threaten to beat me up. We don't argue like that. I had an ex who told me a couple of years back we should have stayed together because we never argued. Now, my current relationship, all we do is argue. I said, no, stay over to that grass. Matter of fact, I'll buy you a lawnmower so you can keep cutting that bitch. You don't want stability. You don't want happiness because women truly can't be happy because you don't even know what contentment means. You truly want this chaotic world where you got to keep guessing where the guy has veins busting through his neck and his forehead, and you find that entertaining so you could tell your girls, I told that nigga off. I told him where he could go, stick this there. I told him I'll leave and I'll take the kids with me. All of you just want to talk big shit until somebody who's talking even bigger shit says, I gotta go. I'm sorry. I, for one, don't want to. I rather, at this point of my life, at 42 years old, when people talk about companionship, how can you have a companion with somebody who hates your fucking existence? You are a constant reminder of black women of their fucking blackness. How can they truly be companion and communal with you? Is it all? No. But is it the overwhelming 97%? You fucking bet it. Yeah, I'll put a number on it. Fuck you. Don't like it? Fight me if you don't like it. Fuck you. Yes, I think it's 97% at this point. Yes. 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 Can I prove it? Not right now. But I probably can if I just go down a street where there's a majority of black women. How many of them smile when they say hello? How many of them will even say hello? I mean, truly. How many will even say hello and smile? Shout out to Electrician. Whoa! Thank you for supporting Electrician 480. I mean, really. I might even be closer to that 97%. You can't even get a smile out of majority of black women. Well, you got to understand what black women go through. Don't give a shit. You chose customer service. You can't smile at a motherfucker. If somebody's holding the door, you can't even say thank you. Notice you always got to understand the shit they go through, but nobody understands what the fuck you go through. I want you to think about this. You got these 60-year-old women down to these mid-20 women who rap and sing, have about more tattoos. If you notice nowadays, the bitches got more tattoos than the dudes. Think about that. They got more tattoos than the dudes. So you expect her to raise children? She looks more like a fucking pirate. Let's let's go real black pill into this shit. Lamont Hill won't even say it, but I will. That was a horrible look of not showing up with your fucking husband. Black women are such a detriment to themselves that you make the entire race look bad. Because you don't like this person or whatever fucking reason you didn't come. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck over yourself. That shows you how dead black love truly is. Oh yeah, they way we getting back to that. We getting back to that too. Let's look at it this way, right? You're supposed to be politically savvy to put on a good face because now you could fuck up the money for the family. Hell, you could fuck up the entire race. I'll give you a good example. When Faulkner here wrestled in Germany, there was 120 wrestlers, only two of them black. If I did something that was either rude, out of line, or just fucked up, am I just representing myself or am I representing all of black America? I had to wrestle well. That's why I got a third, the bronze. I had to represent black people and act like I had some God given sense. Think about this. Joe Joe Louis loved watermelon, but he would never be caught on camera, recorded, or photographed eating watermelon because he knew how badly the stigma of certain stereotypes could be. Not just for him, but for his fucking people. But to go out there with a resting bitch face, and there's another thing that people don't get. My drill sergeant and my wrestling coach said this at different times. And I'm going to paraphrase it to make it shorter. You never let people see you sweat. Black women wear their heart on their sleeve and let the whole world see them sweat. And that's terrible. You know why? Because you, unlike everybody else, is under a goddamn microscope. It's under a goddamn microscope. You might as well have a TV show. It's those Negroes again. And you know what's really fucked up about that? All you got to do at this point in the juncture is say nothing but observe black women. I don't give a damn if they're the first lady, if they're boss bitches in corporate America. I don't care if they're college students. I don't care if they're enrolled in parochial schools. If they are the ratchet down at the PJs. I don't care if they're the first. You all do this shit at some point. 97%. I'm going with that number. You do have your 3% outliers because they're probably raised by their dads. They're probably raised by great mothers. But 97%, all you have to do is just shut up and just observe. If she can't respect the father in her life, how the fuck is she going to respect you in her life? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? You wonder why, for any black woman that's listening to me live or recorded, why you see upper echelon black men dating outside their race? Because number one, they're not going to do that shit out in the open. They're not going to embarrass their man. See, y'all want to be men so badly. BGS coined the phrase, "you're failed white women." No, 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 no. I'm going to have to slightly disagree with the master teacher. I think you're failed black men. I get the fact that y'all failed white women, but I think you're slightly more into being failed black men because you do shit like black men. You worry about if that guy's cute enough. You will. I've literally last year heard a girl that I tried to talk to for about a cup of coffee, and I really started to get uninterested when I heard this. I got married because of good dick. Now, let's take this an even further. Let's take this even further, man. Let's take it even further. Shout out to us to Obsidian because he's making comments about what women prefer, what type of body shape women prefer. when they when he tried to juxtapose a picture of Brad Pitt and Troy versus Derek Jackson. My comment on Facebook was women don't know what they're attracted to until you show them. They'll say one thing and then totally do the other. And it's funny because the women who had a problem on the muscular build of Derek Jackson, he's built like Myles Garrett, like an NFL defensive end. Well, they don't like the big bulky type. Excuse me. Never know when you're alive when you got a yawn. If that was true, let's go by evidence, right? That was women. He has probably like a 90% women group. And all those women probably didn't hear half of what he said because they were too busy drooling over him. But the women who opened up their mouths and said, oh, he's too bulky, did you look how those women look? They could never, one, attract a man like that, and two, they were not attractive themselves. I remember my boy Ali was joking with me yesterday. You really think you're an attractive guy? No, but the women do. That's all that matters. He was like, really? I said, dude, why would I give a fuck about what a man wants? They say that I'm attractive. I'll leave it to them. Never hurt my fucking dick getting wet, but I digress. That being said, and why did I bring it up? It's because women will lie so fucking much. And that's the point that I want to bring up. Will lie about, oh, I would never do this. If given the opportunity, black women would do it. Glorilla. You telling me if a guy like Drake, Wayne, or some other rapper said, I want to be in a relationship with you, she would say no. Would it last long? No. Because you admit, here's the bad part, right? You know the reason why you're single. You know the reason why men don't approach you. You know the reason why you're lonely. I'm back, folks. you know what's funny about the problems that people go through? Is that going back to what I'm saying? You know the reasons why you're single. You know the reasons why men don't approach. You know the reasons why you keep getting the dumbasses you get. But you feel as though you don't have to change a different you don't have to change a damn thing about yourself or the situation or the environment or your mentality. Because why? What's the definition of insanity? To do the same thing expecting a different result. You are insane. Think about this. You get with a chick like Glorilla, don't even have to be a rapper. You just get like a chick with the same mentality. I'm quick to call you a bitch. You're quick to be disrespectful. That's why you think about it. Disrespectful women typically get who? Disrespectful men. Think about it. When BGS played the Melissa Ford, Why Am I Single and Childless at 48? Because the guy who would have loved her dirty drawers, she didn't like. But the guy who was the thugged out wild boy who cussed her out, she was the one enamored. But when it started getting physical, oh, now you want to look for the way out. Shout out to Mr. Z. Melissa Ford, what a waste of pretty. You getting some of the most beautiful women on earth who can't get married, who can't bear children. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? How many motherfucking times you see in a race of white people, or you see in a race of Asian people, Hispanic people, you don't even get a merge being on that level of beauty? You're failures. You're fucking failures. You're failures. I want you to think about this. You got a chick who's married to a former sitting president, and she's not happy. She's rude. You're failures to this community. I want you to think about this, right? All these chicks who flaunted out their sexuality, who had all the men at their beck and call, they end up being losers. The same way you look at a homeless white guy is the same way you look at a beautiful black chick post 40. What a waste of prettiness. What a waste of white skin. Look at Meg the Stallion, a belligerent drunk, violent, a whore immortal, and that's the hero. Oh yeah, let's also not even mention that she should be in jail for perjury on the stand and other crimes she committed. But we have to look at the injustice that we have in this country as well. And who are the main accomplices to this destruction in the black community? I'll let you take a guess. There is nothing. Matter of fact, the thought just came in my mind. You got to excuse me because this is still a rant. When you have women who are great women, who are married or at least in long-term relationships that are great to their husbands and their boyfriends, contributing members of community, respectful, beautiful as inside as they are out, beauty within physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental, love to serve their men. She's not a robot. She can think on her own. As soon as you have those type of women, you become the enemy of the state. You're called a pick-me. You heard it, folks. You're a pick-me. A pick-me. See, only chicks who don't get picked hate pick-me's. The same chicks who want a man to be a leader, who want a man to propose, who want a man to pay bills, don't want to be picked. Make sense out of that shit. If you're a pick me, you're the enemy of the state. What's up, Dr. Thunder? Thank you, Muscle is Life. They hate Simone Biles. They told this chick who went to go prove herself to her now husband to leave him. Why? Why? What sense does that even make? Why? This lets you know that the gynocracy is an illness. It's at epidemic proportions. It's like a biblical plague, okay? It's a biblical plague. There's nothing this guy has done wrong that warrants divorce. He's successful, handsome, loves his wife loves him. Why would you wish for their divorce? Unless you're a hating, self-centered, demonly possessed bitch. See, I can say all the words Dr. Thunder is not going to say. And I could have my vernacular up to some too, but this is a rant, so you got to forgive me and keep listening. Think about that. How evil and demonic you have to be To wish the damnation of a marriage only because only because you see the he didn't know who you were, girl. Probably doesn't because the most you'll see her is every 4 years. That's her biggest claim to fame. His sport is every year. He has a seasonal year. Yes, they have the world championships outside of the Olympics, but the Olympic stage is the biggest stage. He wasn't paying attention like that. He's doing his thing. See, they would rather her date somebody. Indigo Flow, you probably got the saying of the lifetime right now. You might as well just call us a nigga lover. Oh, you a nigga lover. You're a pick me. I don't know who said it, but I'm starting to believe it. Black women are some of the most racist creatures ever. Just sit in the back of something. But it gets to me where I'm starting to really believe that the women are just racist, man. Because y'all saying the most racist shit. You don't hear black men talking about abort black male babies, black female babies. You don't hear black men talking about we're going to divest, we're going to the better. We just pack our bags and say we're going to go where we celebrate it. We don't care. You don't hear black men calling black women bullet bags. I'm going to get an AI screen with a black woman with a Ku Klux Klan uniform on. Think about that. A pygmy is the most hated creature within the gynocracy. Insada non grata, excommunicado. Okay? You're a public enemy. You're a seditious traitor if you're a pygmy. I'm going to give you a perfect example. Two content creators that I follow on TikTok who make the funny videos of the cosplay. I like their attitudes. I like the fact they're upbeat. But they get mad about, oh, well, I'm not trying to be here for y'all to be jerking off to me because I'm not a pick me. But majority of your subscribers are men because you're pretty. And then sometimes you're doing things that are kind of provocative. So I'm not saying that you have to be subjected to male gaze, but once again, shout out to Dr. Thunder. How many of you actually benefit from the male gaze financially? How many of y'all benefit from the male gaze? Your subscriber count goes significantly up because a lot of women aren't going to support you unless they're into cosplay or anime, and it's not as much as men. You're not going to get you're going to get a bigger subscription, especially if you're halfway cute. You're going to get a lot of men to follow you that alone. You're going to get a lot of men to follow you because, oh, I watched that anime too, and she's cute. Boom. But then you hate it when guys actually talk about how attractive you are. It's just natural. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you keep talking about me being beautiful. You're blocked from this screen. But when we don't pay them that attention, they have mental breakdowns. Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. But yet, if a white dude came online and said something about, oh, well, black women, y'all gonna put that motherfucker up like a fireworks. And I want y'all to remember, I actually got love for black women. I date nothing but black women. But even I am getting to the point where I'm like, is the juice still worth the squeeze? And every time I make a logical question, I get a logical answer that says no. I don't even have to date other races of women. I could just be content all by my goddamn self. And you know what's the fucked up part about that is? The fucked up part about that is this. I can't even rely on black women to raise proper black sons. It would take women from other races to raise my black son better if I had a child, another child. Statistically, it's been proven. You have so much content in your heart for black men that you don't even raise your sons that come out of your vagina, your womb. You don't even have the love to raise them properly. What does the fuck does that say about your culture and your people? We look like failures, man. We look like fucking clowns. And this is not even hate talk about black women. This is just I, let me get this out the air. In the black manosphere, we don't hate black women. We just hold up the mirror. We don't even paint the picture anymore. We don't have to. I don't even think we truly painted the picture. We just held up the mirror. Just so happens the mirror got a lot bigger in the last few years. The world sees that motherfucker's on 8K, crystal clear. The world sees you for what you are. You can't even hide it anymore. That's the disturbing part about it. You're not even trying to hide it. At least have the decency to hide it. At least have the decency to hide it. You're at a former president's funeral. One black woman got the meanest resting bitch face there. Your current vice president. And the other one didn't even show. Wow. Wow. Black love is only built up by subterfuge and trickery. That's it. That's it. That's it. I really want y'all to think about that. That is it. Subterfuge, which means falsehood or lying, and trickery, smoke and mirrors. Their loyalty is only till they get something out of it. When black women don't want to hear the words love, honor, and obey, what's the first rule of protection? Obedience. If you can't obey, I can't protect. They don't even care how the imagery looks. Damn, that's a damn shame. I want you to really think about that. And I'm going to go back to what AB said about the weight. Black women will make such excuses for their fucking weight. But why don't they just say, I like to eat, I'm addicted to food, I'm too lazy to work out. There it is. I'm not willing to change. Now, are there black women who will hit the gym regularly? Yeah, because they like to eat. Their words, not mine. Excuse me. But remember, when I said 97%, there's always the 3% of outliers. Why are black women so quick to leave their relationships? Because of the gynocracy, they were raised to think there's always a better deal, there's always a better guy. We got all the doctors in the building. Dr. Nail in the building, folks. Woo! I want you to think about this, man. There's always a better deal. There's always a better guy. There's always somebody better. See, men, we know when we have a good thing, we stick with that good thing. Keep it going. I want you to I want you to think about this, right? I want you to think about this. Everything you do as a black man has always been at some point for the protection and the validation of your women. Think of what they always used to say. If you won't take care of babies, another man will. They automatically think that other men will gladly step up and raise another man's child. Where they only raise the people who promote stepdaddyism. And sometimes she doesn't even want to give you a kid yourself. You got chicks who got 3 kids by 3 different baby daddies, don't want to date a guy with kids. because they're that selfish. Get the hell out of here. I want you to really make sense of this shit. That's the gynocracy in a nutshell. Ask not what you could get from me, ask what you can do for me. But when I have a rant like this, people think, oh, you just bitter. You just look, I will tell you the truth. I my body counts in the 370s. Okay. I could retire right now and I go into the Hall of Fame and have my own damn wing. Okay. I'm not talking about being the guy who couldn't get women. That lets you know something. If a guy who has that many bodies on his fucking shit can talk about this stuff in great detail, that tells you the game is fucked up. We're not even getting quality wives anymore. This is how you know. How many how many ladies out there going to clubs with their daughters, shaking asses on the same men? Men typically don't go to clubs with their sons. They'll go to pool halls, they'll go to cigar lounges, they'll go to sporting events. They might go take a beer with them. But you don't see fathers chasing women with their sons. This community is wrought with such moral decay that it's supposed to be out of style 50 years ago. 50 years ago. We don't produce enough intellectualism. We don't produce enough family orientation. We don't have any communal fucking mindset. We're like a cavity. We're just getting bigger, bigger, bigger until you get the raw nerve exposed. And even now, simps are starting to wake up. I told you, Anton, you thought I was lying what I was talking about, but I'm proving you every time you come out with a video, you're proving Charles Lawrence Faulkner Jr. right. I'm not, hey, my son's great. He's an honor roll student, and I raised him on my own. The first time he ever went to school from his mother's house is right now, and he's 17. And the only reason he's there is because the school's much, much closer to where his mother is. Everybody credits me on how disciplined and how properly raised he is. But Anton, you tried when you first came over to this space, you denied all this bullshit. And what happened? It made you a believer, didn't it, boy? The shameful part is this, right, fellas? With or without the federal government, their behaviors were going to show anyway. I'm going to say it. I said it once and I'm going to say it again. There is no matter of accomplishment, no degree, no position of power in a black woman's vision or line of sight that will ever remove the dustiness fully off any black man. If a president, if the leader of the most powerful nation the earth has ever seen could not get respect from his wife, where does that make you, nigga? Where does that make you? Somebody donated. Thank you, brother. See, Mr. CB. Oh man, with the $50 dollar. Woo! Thank you, man. I got to give you an electrician, yeah, props. But I was running my mouth, so yeah, I got to forgive me a bit. This first one for the electrician. And this one to my boy CB. Thank you, man. And yes, I'm talking about Anton Daniels when I was on Dennis Sperling's show 2 years back. Let me let me put it to you this way, right? I used to say, well, we should try to come back and see what we can do, see what minds we could change. Is Doctor Neil and Doctor Thunder still in the building? Because those are highly degreed men, and they're very well read men, especially in the literature of religion. Well, let's look at this. Jesus Christ himself knew he could not save everybody on this planet. Even he said, blessed for those who did not see and still believe. I want you to think about this very, very carefully. What good reason should black men still mess with black women from this country? When you got how many more times black women you have in Africa alone? Like Brazil? Brazil's the blackest country outside of Africa. Why do black men in America, why do you stay here to be Clark Kent for the rest of your life where everywhere else you go, you're Superman? You move planets with your bare hands, you leap solar systems with a you're faster than the speed of light. Cosmic rays and atomic bombs cannot even pierce your skin, cannot even make you wince. But you constantly stay where all the kryptonite is. I won't even say Krypton. You stay where you're the most weakest and vulnerable. Women all over the fucking world, you are the Superman. It was your contributions, black men, that made you from the slave to equal to the slave owner. Need I remind you? It was your hands that we still use 85% of the inventions from either slaves or the descendants of slaves that the world still uses today. It is your hands that liberated countries, even though you were not a full citizen in yours. The liberators of Europe, anybody? The Harlem Hellfighters? The Red Tails? aka the Tuskegee Airmen? The vets of Vietnam, Korea, Gulf War, Afghanistan, Iraq, Grenada, Panama. Hell, we could start from the Revolutionary goddamn War. Why do we settle on being ordinary men when we're Superman anywhere goddamn else on this fucking planet? We're gods anywhere else in this universe. What to please a person who can't even look you in the eye? Every time they look at you with such disdain. They look at you with such anger, such vitriol. They look at you like, why should I deal with you when I'm the better? Why? Give black, I'm willing to sit down with anybody, black man, black feet. Why the fuck should we stay when the women don't like us? They're not going to work with us. They're not going to obey us. Don't give me any of this compromise shit. Don't give me this, oh, we need to keep the community going. What community? You go over to Park Heights right now. Go to fucking Park Heights right now in Baltimore. You think a little teenage, 13-year-old, 12-year-old teenage Jewish boy, he needs a job. Can he go in his community and get a job? Can he work for the rabbi? Can he work for the plumber, the electrician of their group? Can he be an understudy for their where the fuck? In this thing we call black, the so-called community, can your children go and find jobs within it? If we had a community, how many times and how long does our money get flipped back into the community? You can't even demand the streets in your neighborhoods to be paved. You can't even keep your alleys clean. You can't even keep drug dealers off your block. That's a sign of weakness. Why? Why stay? Why stay when when your woman is willing to mate with men who will tear this damn thing called a community, so called a community, brick by brick, asphalt by asphalt, does not bless you with your genetic code going into the next generation, but she expects you to make something out of yourself and to take children that you have no biological obligation to, raise them, and to spend your money on her as if she was supposed to be the offering from God Himself. But I'm going to say it again. If black men fall, the community crumbles. But what was the old saying? And for the longest time, only in the black community where the women would be the backbone. That's an insult to every. If you go to the white community and say the white woman is the backbone of the white community, somebody might spit in your goddamn face. The Asian community, hell no. If the so-called black woman is the backbone of the black community, then the black community has scoliosis with a combination of osteoporosis. Because if those black men back in the 80s didn't become stepfathers and step in, this community would have been done 40 years ago, 50 years ago, like I said. Black men, black men, black men. You niggas need to take a fucking history book. Woman suffrage. The white woman wanted the right to vote before the black man, but the black man earned the right to vote, defending this country while white women sat on their asses being protected, came to the black woman. Well, you know, if he gets the right to vote, he gonna treat you like us, even though they had no historical precedents to prove that. Every time white women come bearing gifts, your community ends up with less. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, please. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yet, the biggest one is civil rights. You allowed the handmaidens of hell, the fucking feminists, to trick you for giving them your men's jobs, and you have the fucking audacity to say, I can't find a man on my level. At that moment, when you handed civil rights and affirmative action to white women, who rich white women have the privilege to call themselves a minority, even though they're the majority of the country. When you did that, I think black men should have just left this country. I think black men should have left this fucking country and leave you to your own devices. I said it. I'm sober as a motherfucker right now, and that's how I really feel. And I'm a criminal justice and his history major by trade. May not finish the degree, but it's still my trade. And I still read up on history. And folks, when I read up on history, this shit pisses me the fuck off. At that moment, when you handed something that black men fought for with their lives, motherfuckers gave up their fucking lives, sweat, their tears, shed blood, shed their blood, shed the enemy's blood, protected you, protected the kids. They're still finding Negroes in trees in the South, still hanging. And you handed that shit over to them. If this was the military, motherfuckers would have been fucking tribunaled. Give me one goddamn reason why black men should stay. Personally, I'm at the point right now where indifference is just a way of the game. You don't like us, you don't respect us, just let us the fuck go. Stop worrying about us. Don't even try to look for us. Don't even try to date us anymore. Just let us go. You don't want to be seen in public with us on a presidential world stage. When we do have you out there, you have resting bitch faces. You're cussing up a storm. There's nothing feminine about you. Why stay? Give us a reason to stay. Shout out to the people who have the 3% of you who have successful relationships. I applaud you. May God forever bless you. And may you be together for many more moons. But the 97%, why don't you just leave us the hell alone? You don't like us. You don't even want to be picked. You don't even want to be a pick me. You want the attention of men on your time. You don't want to make you don't want to make yourself available to see if you're on a man's standard. It's just sickening. At some point, just go. We don't care. We don't blink an eye if you divest. We don't care. We'll help you find the motherfucker. We'll pack your bags. We'll even buy trips for you. Just go. You don't even pick the best fathers to have children by because you never cared to have children by good men in the first place. Let's just say that. You didn't give a fuck who the father was. You just wanted a baby. You didn't want to have a real family. You just wanted to have a complaint. You wanted to feel like the other girls to say these niggas ain't shit. That's because the more you say these niggas ain't shit, the more the outside world will believe you. When really, you're the person who's not shit. What's that video that BGS played? Well, we know the girl didn't want to mess with you in high school, but you got yourself in shape. You got yourself a great job. You in business. You got your college degree. You got your career. Y'all need to marry those women because we were victims too. You can't be a victim if you're willing to your own destruction. You can't play victim if you're the person committing armed robbery. You can't play victim if you're going out there willingly scamming people. So cut the fucking shit, please. Take some accountability, which we know that shit is more lethal than fucking mercury in your system. But we got bad fathers. We got bad fathers. Where? You literally pick hood dudes to have babies by. And I had to dawn and think about this shit, right? All you have to do is ask a chick about her last 2 to 3 boyfriends. Ask, especially if the chick has a child. Okay, was the child playing? Were you married? When some of these stories on how some of these chicks found their children's fathers and how utterly ridiculous it was, stay away. Stay away. Stay away. Because you're trained to do it. You were trained to do it. You are trained to do it. For example, I've left the police department in what, 22, 21, December 2021, which is basically 2022. You think I still can't do the job? That's what I'm trained to do. You put a rifle in my hand, a pistol in my sidearm, you put 210 rounds on my chest, and you put a plate in there. You think I don't know how to soldier? You think I don't know how to clear a room? I don't know how to kick in a door? It's training. When you train for so long to be it, it becomes your character. It becomes a part of your DNA. Have you ever seen cats? The mama cat, when she's looking for food, what does she? She puts the 2 kittens down in the brush. She's looking at them to make sure they're looking at her. They're trying to stay hidden and they pouncing. Why do you think The lion cubs will play with the lion and they'll pounce on them. And the lion or the lioness will act like they're scared because they're training them. Watch, learn. Why do you think they even showed them how to pounce, how to get down low, how to take cover? You're trained to take this abuse. You're trained to make this. Why do you think? Why do you think these little sons come out the womb saying, "I'm gonna buy my mommy a house"? What other race of boys who are like 5, 6 years old are worried about buying their mother a house because their daddies already bought their mothers a house? Look at your professional sports athletes. Go look at all the white boys, all the Hispanic ones, all of the Asian or whatever other race. Notice it's only the black man who gives credit to mama, predominantly. Once in a while you get credit to father. The Ball sons. If if Mr. Ball was a black woman, we'd be having a fucking national holiday to celebrate that man. But because he's a father and he promoted the hell out of his sons, we think he a clown. Anytime you see a father strong, a black father strong in their son's corner, we think it's something wrong about that. We'll say, oh, he's trying to control his son. But if it's a mother, we don't think shit about it, do we? That's part of your training. You're really, how can I say this? You're really adverse to male leadership in the black community. You really are. You really hate male leadership in the black community, even men. It takes a lot for men and boys to adhere to male leadership. That's why the breaking process when you go to your fucking sports teams takes longer. Most of my biggest battles coaching wrestling was with young black males with no fathers. Those were my biggest battles. Those were my biggest battles. I want you to think about that. A lot of black men, we need to come honest and say, hey, we need to really think about why do we have so many issues in our community? Why are you quicker in our community to listen to a gang leader than a male black teacher? Who are the heroes of the hood? Who are the heroes of the hood? Do we respect the police officer, the firefighter? Because in the hood, you don't have doctors living in the hood anymore. That hasn't happened for like what, a century or two, like not like that. Do we respect the mechanic like that? No, we respect the dude slinging rocks or scamming. Why? Because black men, or men period, by logic, go by the path of least resistance. Meaning, if I see the girls flocking to this guy because he has a certain haircut, a certain way he dressed, a certain vernacular, a certain swagger about them, people are going to emulate that. So, why are black women so attracted to drug dealers? Is it all? No. Is it too damn many? Yep. Why are black women so attracted to disposable men? You have to ask yourself that question. I want you to think about it. Everybody wants to claim that people are racist, but yet you listen to music that talks about you being a black man being a stereotype. Make that make sense. And guess who's the first person to shake their asses to it? We have nothing but a culture of fast money and greed, avarice. So what's going on here? Can you build a community off of criminality? Can you build a community off of the broken homes? Can you build a community where the men are not respected? Where the women look down upon being wives? Can you build a community where your boys are undereducated? This is what I'm asking. Are those hard questions to answer? Can I truly build that community? The answer is going to be an astounding no. But why do we keep repeating this substance? Why do so many black mothers allow criminality from their sons? Why do so many black mothers keep their children away from the father? I mean, really, think about this, right? I want you to think about this. And I wasn't going to do this today, but I got to bug up my ass, okay? Got to bug up my ass. I blame you motherfuckers for it. I love you motherfuckers, but I blame you motherfuckers. Okay? To literally, to literally bring your children up in a single mother home, a fatherless home, 63% of youth suicides, 70% of people who were incarcerated in state operated institutions, 71% of all college dropouts, 75% of adolescent patients in a substance abuse rehab center, 80% of all grapists, 85% of children who shows behavioral disorders, 85% of all youths in prison, 90% of runaway and homeless youth. You pretty much guarantee your children a life of mediocrity, failure, danger, and incarceration. You automatically put them in that system once you start raising children in fatherless homes. But why do we do it in such an abundant amount? We do it in abundance. Why? Why? Somebody answer that in the chat. Why? Why do we keep doing that? Statistics say your child is going to live in perpetual poverty if they live in a single father home. It's almost guaranteed. Anything over 70% is pretty much guaranteed. Why? Why do single fathers get the same results as two-parent households? Easy math, right? But these are the same chicks that don't want to be pick-me's. That could do bad all by themselves, right? Thank you. Because they don't care. The better answer actually is because they love the situation at hand. If you change this, they can no longer be in power. They always got to pick a man with a severe flaw so they could break him back down and he can't leave. I want you to think about this. They're the only women in the world who think they shouldn't be punished by a bad decision. Think about it. You're the only group of people that think we shouldn't be punished by our bad decisions. There should be no accountability. You're okay by not having children in proper families. You bought, it's kind of funny, right? You bought everything the white woman told you who's a feminist. You didn't even get married. That white feminist will talk the biggest shit in public, but go home and cook and clean and fetch that man's slippers without question. And all those jobs, not only did she get them, her man got them, but she's gearing up to make her son become the CEO of the goddamn place. Well, you got to think about it. If a man doesn't have children by a woman, give him a good reason to stay. Give him a good reason to stay. Why do you think when a man becomes a superstar athlete, They hurry up and get pregnant or try to get pregnant. They try to get pregnant quick. Why? Because now she has an obligation. See, if you gave, see, this is how you fucked up the system. When you gave the rights of married women to single women with kids, did you just de-incentivize marriage altogether? You just made it cool not to be married. I'm getting 75 to 90% of what I would get from being married anyway. The only thing she can't get is alimony, but she sure can get child support, child custody, housing. You took away the obligation for her to be married. If you told majority of the women they had to be married for 15 years to get child support, what would happen automatically? You would see an increase in marriage, wouldn't you? So, I'm going to answer this question again. Why should black men stay? Why should they? Why should we stay? And that's not out of hatred, folks. That's just a burning question. If we're the worst so called men on the planet, which statistically we're not, actually the best. If you're Clark Kent over here, but you're Superman everywhere else on the planet, why should you stay? But Charles, you gotta understand that it's hard for us to come out here and have all these babies. Don't you have 33 different ways of preventing pregnancy? Well, yeah. Then why him? Well, he made my pussy lips tingle. Then you're gonna have to take the consequences, just like a guy who has a bad wife. That's on him. Or a bad girlfriend. That's on him. Think about it. You're held to a certain standard, whether if you like it or not. As a man, if you got a chick pregnant or suspected to have a chick pregnant, the state will hog tie you, bring you to court, take your blood samples, swab your mouth, whatever you got to do to make sure we're going to find out if you're the father or not. But is there a penalty if you've been paying child support for 5 years and that child's not yours? We live in a country where if we're supposed to be equal, then what's the penalty for lying? It's no hate. It's just a question. If I'm a bad deal, why deal? We live in a time of day. I want you to listen to this part, Cam. We live in a time of day where chicks want to be prostitutes, they just don't want to be called prostitutes. Kind of weird, isn't it? You want me to take you out, give you money, get your nails done, get your hair done, and then you want to have sex. So why not give me the money up front and we could just have sex? Now, you trying to treat me like I'm some whore? You basically said the same thing. The only difference is I'm giving you the money directly instead of just going on dates. Nope, because guess what? She wants to see how much you're willing to spend. Because of the ego trip. Pack your bags because you're going on an ego trip. I mean, at some point, it's got to give. At some point, you got to say this was a failed experiment and try something else. From what I'm hearing, there's a lot of beautiful women in Brazil who are black as the ace of spades. There's a lot of beautiful women in Africa who are black as the ace of spades, all types of flavors. Who treats you a lot better. What's the difference now? I mean, hey, if you want to stay within the black, diaspora, maybe you should go look. Just saying. What's my man used to say? It's not a sermon, just a thought. But hopefully y'all like today's rant. But I just had to get a few things off my chest. A few thoughts out there. Let me know what you think about what I said in the comments section. Unless y'all want me to keep going, I will keep going. But if not, get the hell out of here. Come back with y'all later tonight or tomorrow. Well, I'll hit you guys later. Just a woman pricing herself in order for you to deal with her. You got to take that deal as an insult. I mean, it is an insult. Because you're basically getting secondhand goods. You're not getting loyalty. You're not getting respect. You're not getting honor. You're not getting obedience. You're pretty much just paying for, previously used vagina. That's basically what you're about to do. But let me get out of here, folks. Y'all hit the gym. If you're not going to the gym, hit a few push-ups. You're starting out. Try 10, like 5 sets of 10. Hey, get that chest big for the summer. Woo! Everybody get out of here. Peace.